into it. Hello, hello. Let's see what we can find in here. Looking to get some stories started here soon. We'll start with this one. This is from user Ink in the Basement. The title, "We used a Ouija board as a joke. One of us let go first." Back when I was in high school, there wasn't much to do, and that's not an excuse so much as a fact. We lived in a town where everything shut down early, and nothing felt like it belonged to us, so we found our own ways to feel like we existed. Mostly, that meant breaking into houses. I've told this story before, in ways that make it sound worse than it was, and in ways that makes it sound better. The truth is probably somewhere in between. We never hit places where people actually lived. Vacation homes, empty properties, houses we knew would sit untouched for months. We'd check for cars, lights, timers. We were careful. We'd party, do stupid stuff, leave everything where we found it. We weren't stealing. We told ourselves that mattered. One night, we found a house that should have been perfect. No lights, no cars. Far enough back from the road that no one would hear us if something went wrong. The place looked new, too. Clean siding, fresh paint. Not abandoned, just unused. Like it was waiting. Inside, the air was still. Quiet in a way that made us lower our voices without realizing it. We checked upstairs first. Bedrooms, bathrooms. Everything normal. Too normal. At the end of a short hallway was the basement door. Oh man. At the end of a short hallway was the basement door. It wasn't locked, just a simple wooden latch. When we opened it, the smell hit us immediately. Wet mold, rot, and something underneath that I still don't have a word for. Something old, something used. When we opened it, oh man, I'm just reading back what I already read. The stairs were wooden. Each step creaked as we went down. Not sharp or loud, but strained, like the stairs were breathing out under our weight. With every step, the air felt heavier. By the time we reached the bottom, my chest felt tight. The walls were painted in blocks of red and yellow, bright, ugly colors that didn't belong underground. One of my friends laughed nervously and said we'd found the Harry Potter house, Gryffindor. Another shot back. You fucking nerd. It's the Chiefs. We laughed, but the sound didn't spread the way it should have. It stayed close, like the room didn't want it. Someone pulled out a Ouija board. One of those cheap cardboard ones you buy as a joke. None of us believed in it. That was the point. We sat on the floor in a circle, the board between us, fingers resting lightly on the planchette. Everyone was smiling, not laughing, just that tight grin you get when you're waiting to see who's going to ruin the joke. We asked dumb questions. Is anyone here? Are you a ghost? Are you watching us? Nothing happened. Someone snorted. Someone rolled their eyes. Then the planchette moved. Just a little. Slow enough that it took a second to register. Every smile vanished at the exact same time. No one screamed. No one pulled their hands away. The planchette started answering. Not dramatically, not in long messages. Precisely. It spelled out one friend's childhood nickname, one he hadn't used since elementary school. Then it named the girl another was secretly seeing. It knew where one of us had hidden a bottle weeks earlier. It knew the exact words other friends' dads used the night he kicked him out. It spelled out thoughts we'd never said out loud, things we barely admitted to ourselves. When it turned on Daniel, he panicked. It started listing things faster. Fears, memories, the things he'd done that he swore no one could ever know. Daniel yanked his hand away from the planchette. You're not supposed to do that. I didn't know the rules back then, but I know them now. You're not supposed to let go. You're not supposed to end a session without saying goodbye. Daniel was the first to pull his hands away. The board didn't stop moving. It kept sliding across the surface, slow and deliberate, like it didn't need us anymore. That's when the rest of us pulled away. Chairs scraping, someone swearing, someone crying. We ran. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't ask anything to stop. We didn't even close the basement door behind us. We never talked about it after that. Not really. We joked around it, made excuses. Someone must have been pushing it. Stress does weird things to people. A few years later, Daniel killed himself. Someone said the same things. There were warning signs. He'd been struggling. Depression doesn't come out of nowhere. No one argued that. Then Marcus started therapy, antidepressants, night terrors he wouldn't explain. We all say concerning things now. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in Ouija boards. I don't believe there was anything in that basement. I think we were stupid kids in a bad place, feeding off each other's fear. For a long time, I told myself that part didn't matter. But the older I get, the more I remember the details. The way every smile disappeared at once. The way it answered each of us in turn. The way it never skipped anyone. It moved around the circle systematically, slow, deliberate, one of us at a time. That's a really good story. I like it. This again comes from the user Ink in the Basement on r/horror stories. Man, they do a lot of really good stuff. Here's what it looks like. It looks like a lot of his work comes from like emotional terror as well as like paranormal. It's what I'm seeing a lot here, like the new therapist and stuff like that. That's a really interesting take on the way some of these stories go. And it's always important like to see some of this work come through and how they kind of work their process through. I love how a lot of these people on Reddit, they have their own niche styles of horror. And one of the things that I've seen is just some of these people are just so profoundly good at writing, and they definitely deserve their flowers. So if you do want to read more of these stories, I definitely recommend going to their page, definitely checking out what they have, because it seems like they have no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's see what else we can find on here. Let's try this one right here. Excuse me. The Realization by user Evan the Nerd 83. Little things just didn't add up. Her collar would be wrongly buttoned, her eyeshadow smudged, the misplaced smell of ego, perfume. She would be heavy with it, smothered by it. He swallowed, but the vomit crept back up. Late. She'd be late coming home, and drunk, hammered, sloshed. There was always to look to, glimmering eyes, full with guilt. Jesus Christ, how could he be so blind, so stupid? He ground his teeth into dust, traced the living room again and